What is up with the squad? It's Cess, your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies in the building. That energy comes from nowhere. What's going on, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, y'all. We a bit late, but we still here for the conversation. Political Lil. What's up, man?
All right. What's going on?
Hey, man, we got a good one. We got a different one, man. We talking sneakerhead kind of stuff. 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Getting some stuff straight in the household real quick. We got snow coming in, trying to make sure everything is set. Welcome to PoliSports Tea Time Live, y'all. It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. I'm clocking in. 7 in the chat. The like and the share, they both right there. We're doing something different. We usually talk women's hoops. Today, we got something for the sneaker heads, NBA heads, and those of y'all that follow Kyrie Irving. I mean, one of the most interesting, I think, players in NBA hoops. One of the most interesting figures, I think, out there. Miracle Rider, what's up, fam? Hey, y'all, I dropped a link today for Amazon. I got some other links coming out. These is affiliate links. It don't cost y'all nothing extra to support Cess Talk Sports if you shop from them links. Don't matter on Amazon. It does not matter what the item is. Whatever you buy in those 24 hours, the platform gets something back on that for the affiliate. So we appreciate the support. We're gonna be dropping some other stuff, so just different ways to be able to support that don't cost you anything extra. We appreciate it anyway. Y'all bring it, even if it's just like and share. They both right there. They don't cost you that anyway. White Wolf, what's good? Shonda Doe Ray, what's good? Let's get into this. Y'all know we not here when political Lil's on the screen. We ain't here about the highlights. We not here for no cute highlights. We're here to talk power. Who got it? Who think they still own it? And who's getting shut out on purpose? Kyrie Irving just made a move to hit politics, culture, and money all at once, and I wouldn't have even known about the move if Political Lil didn't tell me. And y'all know I read my articles. Y'all know I love me a good article. I ain't seen no articles on this one. I ain't seen no think pieces. So when they start talking about this, remember where you heard it first. Smalls the one. What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. So, and we do got a Gamecock show coming up later on tonight at about 9:45 because we gonna celebrate who? Miss Time Athlete of the Year, Asia Wilson herself. Give Asia some love at 9:45 with me. We're going to hang out and get that love, but we're going to keep that separate from this one. We're going to talk Kyrie. Now, this ANTA deal. And listen. Don't y'all, come on. I don't want a whole bunch of, what are those? I don't want a bunch of that in the chat, okay? It's ANTA, okay? Now, Clay wearing them. Kavan was wearing them. I'm looking for a colorway that I can buy to support them, but I'm still looking. Okay, so we what Kyrie gonna do? But this is interesting because Kyrie took a step that Clay didn't take. Okay, so follow us right here now because we're gonna bring this all to y'all right now. So this ANTA deal, right, is not just new shoes, new colorways, energy. It's equity, it's creative control, and executive power in one play. And then the thing that I love about it is that he didn't just think about himself. He pointed that power directly at the HBCUs. The same schools, U.S. corporations, they ain't getting no commercials. They remember for the commercials, but they forget them in the contracts, right? Where they come from. It's like these players just show up in the NFL. These legends just showed up in the NBA. Like they didn't go to college or nothing. But do your history. It's a lot of them out there. So we're gonna ask the question. The mainstream is scared to touch. Is China stepping into empower Black institutions in ways U.S. brands have refused? Let's have that conversation. Because if that's true, what does that mean for HBCUs, for Black athletes, and for the Black consumer base that keeps this whole machine running? Y'all saw what China looked like when Steph showed up over there. Y'all remember what China looked like when Kobe was showing up over there? I don't know if Stephon Marbury ever came back from over
there. He might still be there.
So you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I just so I'm wondering about that. Yeah, like share. What's up, Jeremy? Kyrie ANTA alliance might be the opening shot of a new athlete power structure, and that's one that's not begging gatekeepers for permission. They in a whole nother yard, and I'm not unpacking this solo. Y'all already know who's at the table. Political Lil from BeWise PoliSports podcast, locking in with Cess Talk Sports for PoliSports Tea Time, pulling up receipts, breaking systems down, and naming what everybody else tiptoes around. Political Lil, what's happening?
All right, Auntie Cess. Look, let's be clear. This isn't just business. This geopolitics wrapped in sneakers. Now, Aetna didn't just give Kyrie a contract. They gave him a seat at the table. And American brands have never offered such. So China seems to understand that Black culture drives global basketball economics, and they're investing where USA corporations, kind of push to the side. And so that makes Kyrie move bigger than sports. It makes it a challenge to the American sneaker hierarchy. So, let's get into it, what Kyrie is actually doing, how his partnership is working, and why it might flip the Black economy on its head. So, Auntie Cess, go ahead and take us into segment 1.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. What's going on? Okay, you said even Tracy McGrady was loved in China. Yeah, I don't know. It's something going on over there. Chichi, good energy. What's up, fam? So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's make it crystal clear for everybody that's just locking in. Kyrie Irving didn't just sign a deal. He wrote, this is a new blueprint. This is something we haven't seen before. By partnering with ANTA, he stepped into executive power, creative control, and equity. 3 things the U.S. brands keep denying Black athletes. And he did it all stroke of the pen one time. Instead of sitting on that access, he's pointing it straight at HBCUs. Now, that's the heartbeat of Black culture that stays starving for real investment from the U.S. sports machine. There's a lot of talent down there, but it's not a lot of investment. Now, what Kyrie is pushing is simple, but it's revolutionary when you pay attention to it, y'all. HBCUs don't deserve leftover gear and charity optics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, me too, Melody. If Political Lil hadn't said nothing, I wouldn't know either. But it's like the HBCUs get like last season's equipment. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like what's left over, the out of style stuff. You know what I'm saying? They get the what didn't work. They, you know what I mean? This how they treat us. They get the, what they used to call it,
hand me down.
Not the hand me downs. Not them. It's even worse than that, Leo. When they sew the clothes and one arm might be longer than the other one, but they still give them away. Yeah, that one. They giving them. Just the practice ones. I forget what they call them. But help me in the chat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He's saying Black institutions should be inside the global sports economy. And he putting them right there. Not standing outside the gate waiting on permission. So with ANTA behind him, Kyrie has offered HBCUs a seat at the table that America's corporate sports structure never intended to set for them. Right? This is what he's doing. So my first question to you, Lil, is when we talk geopolitics, China invested in HBCUs through Kyrie. What does this move signal about global power shift happening around Black athletes and Black culture?
Oh, man. It signals that the world finally recognizes what America has been trying to suppress. Black culture is the engine of global influence. There's no doubt about it. And China is stepping in because they see the value in that Black talent brings to culture, economics, and markets. Now, U.S. has historically underdeveloped Black markets, Black community, Black culture. And so this move shows a geopolitical pivot where foreign powers are now willing to invest directly in Black institutions. Now, while we over there begging China for money, to try to run our country, they over here looking like, hey, y'all passing up a market. Because the one thing I can say about China's rise to economic power is they seize markets. They don't care. They're not looking at color. They don't care what color it is. If they think it's got some value in it, they're gonna invest. So Black
they see green.
They see all that. And so Black institutions, because they want access to the culture, capital market growth, innovation, and global brand power that Black athletes generate. So it's not charity. It's really a strategy, and it proves that Black culture is a global asset. Let me repeat that again. Black culture is a global asset, and the nations that invest in it are trying to position themselves for long-term influence. You all do know that the youngest market on earth, youngest population, is in Africa. That's number one. The fastest growing middle class is in Africa. Now, over here, we're a little more advanced. We have a very unique culture, even though we, are descendants of African people. Once we got to America, got completely stripped of our identity. We developed a culture, but look at hip hop.
One second, Leo. You breaking up for me. Y'all put a 3 in the chat if Leo is looking. If Leo is breaking up for y'all, put a 3 in the chat if Leo breaking up. She going in and out blurry for me. I'm trying to figure out, is it me or is it StreamYard? What's going on? Y'all let me know. Is Leo? Put a 3 in the chat if Leo is coming in blurry and going in and out for y'all. Let me know. And then put a 1 in the chat if she good. Let me know. Y'all let me know. I'm trying to make sure here. Okay, so 3. So she going in and out for y'all too. Leo, maybe you want to go out and come back in. Maybe, I don't know. You still looking blurry on this end.
Okay, I'll come back in.
Okay, I will wait for you to come back in. We'll wait for you to come back in. In the meantime, while Leo is doing that, I got a question. I do have a question for the chat. Do y'all believe Kyrie's partnership with ANTA represents a real power shift for Black athletes, or is this just another athlete brand deal dressed up as empowerment? Like, do you think Kyrie can really do something with this? And considering, who Kyrie is and how he moves. Y'all let me know if y'all think this is a real power move. I was shocked to hear it. Not a lot of people are looking at HBCUs, and then Kid Gemini, I'm with you. It'd be like, oh, good. This is a Nike school, but then you look at what they get and be like, it'd be trash compared to the PWIs. And the word I was trying to think of is what was it? The irregular. It's like we get the irregular apparel. You know what I mean? The one leg longer than the other, or the color ain't right, something like that. It's always just something a little off. It's not the newest Nike stuff. It's like what's at the Foot Locker and the Foot Action versus what's at like the Nike factory outlet. Like we get the factory outlet gear, and they get the real deal. Okay, there we go, Lil. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I was just asking the chat too if they believe Kyrie's partnership with ANTA is a real power shift for Black athletes, or if it's just another brand deal dressed up as empowerment. So I'll be looking for your answers in the chat on that one. But let's keep going, Lil. Because I want you to break down for the people too what this type of investment means for predominantly Black athletes at HBCUs who haven't been a part of the sneaker pipeline, the NIL machine, or the corporate investment ecosystem. They ain't even been thinking about it. You over there at Alabama State, you're not too much really thinking about if you finna get a shoe deal. You know what I'm saying? Not for real. What doors does this actually open?
You know what it means? The HBCU athletes finally get a seat at the economic table. For decades, the big sneaker money flowed, primarily to predominantly white institutions. So they left Black schools and Black athletes, kind of out of the corporate ecosystem. So this investment is going to crack that open. And suddenly HBCU athletes have access to brand builders, sponsorship pipelines, training resources, tech investments, and an international platform that were never offered to them before. So it's going to create some equity where there's been exclusion. It's also going to shift power, because if HBCU athletes start getting real corporate backing, the entire marketplace is going to change. And so PWIs are no longer get that monopoly on the talent to wealth pipeline. So it's a lot bigger than sneakers. It's about infrastructure, opportunity, and leverage. Now if you want to, go have a HBCU experience, you can do that. And it could lead to a shoe deal. It could lead to having a nice NIL package. So China get ready to move in on a labor market when y'all really look at it. Because you only got, so many Black athletes. That's a labor pool. America has been able to have total access to that labor pool. But if that don't happen, and people start competing, you got a foreign actor, coming in here competing for your labor pool. It's gonna be a problem. Somebody's gonna have to step up in corporate America or step down. Because our kids out of country.
Could you see China trying to establish a pro league?
Yeah, I think that's in their future. I know it's in Saudi future. I mean, sports is that's an enormous market, because everything becoming so digitalized, the physical labor, sports is kind of the only thing you can't really replace with, even though you got the video games, but nobody go to the stadium to see no robots running up and down the court. So this is
not yet. They hoping so.
Yeah, they hoping so.
As soon as they figure out how to make it happen, they will.
But for right now, the labor, that physical labor that sports presents is almost the only pure thing we kind of got left, in terms of innovation. And so, a lot of and then you got the Africa market that's, as that middle class grows, that's going to explode sport wise too, and sports is going to be big. I mean, when Saudi is talking about getting away from oil, they must know something we don't. But
they was like, we're not gonna do oil, we're gonna do American boxing. American boxing. I mean, went crazy in American boxing. Came in and took over the whole game. They was like, out with the pay-per-view. We're gonna put it on Netflix and the Zone. We're gonna partner with them. We changing the game. This is what we doing. I think if Canelo fulfills his deal with the Saudis, I think it's a $1 billion deal. I think Canelo was 4 fights, $1 billion. I think. So I know they want Bud to fight again, but they're gonna have to pay him this time. He want that Canelo money now. China's talent is lackluster. They have no choice but to dip into the U.S. talent. I agree. That's a really great point. But let's bring this segment home and get to the next. Move on with the discussion. Kyrie has with ANTA. It's not a normal athlete contract. He's sitting in an executive seat. So as a creative director of the entire basketball division, now that means that he's getting to shape the vision, product strategy, brand identity across the board. That's the whole ecosystem from design room to marketing rollout, running through his voice, his lens. And on top of that, he got equity. So real ownership, real stakes in every dollar his creativity generates. I don't know, that Nike was ever handing him those keys like that. What really flips the table though is how he used the power. And it's kind of like what Asia did with her power. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that when they go Nike, they go they get the A2s with South Carolina, building the reach back into the deal. That's what I love. He's building a system. He ain't just cooking up shoes. He's tying these HBCUs right directly into the supply chain, not a photo op, into the supply chain. That's not a photo op. He's creating direct access points for Black athletes, not back doors and exceptions. Direct access points that you can point to and see, that you can measure. So he's setting this precedent that says Black creativity deserves ownership and not just the endorsement checks and the slogans. And I love that because he's showing that athletes can be the leaders, they can be the innovators, builders in an industry that made billions off their influence without ever giving them real control. Think about that. With the flip of Steph Curry had what Steph had to go through to be able to get his logo. I think did he end up having to buy it back? And then you think about Kawhi. He got ready to leave Nike. They was like, you can go, but the logo stays home. Logo stays home. You understand? That's something he drew up in high school, something that's been part of his identity, probably tattooed on his body, right? A baseline of his brand that somebody can say based on how he read or didn't read paperwork, can say I own that now. So these things matter. So talk to us about the pipeline Kyrie is building here, Lil. How does planting these investments aside, these HBCUs create a long-term athlete pipeline that shifts power away from traditional sneaker giants?
Well, Kyrie is creating a pipeline that starts where Black talent actually is, and that's inside HBCUs. So instead of waiting for corporations to decide who gets the access, so by investing early and providing those resources, he building relationships directly with these campuses, and he laying the foundation for the HBCU athlete to grow within a system that supports him instead of exploits him. So that I really like, so over time that creates a talent network connected to Kyrie's ecosystem rather than a traditional Nike-led system or shift of power, because the next generation of stars they're gonna be the first to have these opportunities, these deals, and brand loyalty that's tied to Kyrie's investment. So it's not an old regular sneaker deal. He trying to put real money into the hands of these athletes while they're in college, and that's a beautiful thing.
Well, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about all of the other creative opportunities that jump up here, right? Because what about the people that are in design at these HBCUs? What type of opportunity does this create? What type of pipeline does this create for them to be able to maybe now, have direct career tracks into design, into working with Kyrie, into helping these HBCUs build out these, build out their designs for their athletic equipment and uniforms and all of that stuff. So, I mean, it doesn't just have to stop at the athlete, agents, all kind of stuff, right? This is a whole different world open up now, a whole different geographical area that these kids could start thinking about, right? What if you're doing, you're going over to China and studying abroad for a year in China, and, doing an internship at ANTA out of a HBCU over in China now, doing any type of internship or anything, studying abroad over there for a year, building your global business knowledge. I mean, it just gives so many opportunities. I just really love this. But I want to really break this down. How are Kyrie and ANTA positioning themselves to become real competitors in the athletic shoe market? Because, I mean, we look at the beginning of a new lane. So this is going to try to challenge Nike in the American sneaker hierarchy. I mean, nobody's really challenged Nike. I mean, there's Nike, there's Adidas, Reebok is trying to find a way. Under Armour look like they, fading fast. Converse been swallowed up. We've had the Troops and the Diodoras and the Lecoq Sportifs that have come into the market and gone. Fila lives in regions. So this what is, break that down. What is this how are they really positioning themselves?
Well, I think Kyrie and ANTA, they positioning themselves as competitors because number one, ANTA is the third largest athletic shoe thing already going on in the United States. So, but they doing it a little different. They positioning themselves by doing what these big companies don't, and that's invest directly in communities, athletes, and institutions that have been ignored. So they building credibility like from the ground up by empowering HBCU, offering athletes real partnership instead of just endorsements, and creating a culturally rooted brand identity. And if this continues, we're looking at the early stages of a new lane that will challenge the traditional sneaker hierarchy. And I know he wants to challenge. They tapping into a cultural engine that's actually driving the market. Black athletes, Black consumers, and Black creative influence. So, hopefully they won't, try to create a scandal to chop the man's head off. But this is a little more than just, hey, pair of shoes, jogging suit. You talking about putting some potential. I mean, you know how Black sneaker culture is. It's huge. It's huge. And if you shifting that money over to ANTA, that means it's going out of Nike. It's coming out of Adidas. It's coming out of even New Balance and Skechers, who all trying to break into this market that Nike was able to capture, when they had Jordan, and that culture kind of jumped off. So this is really big.
Yeah, it's bigger than basketball. It's global power, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Kyrie linking ANTA this link is happening while the U.S. and China is locked in an economic rivalry. And sports is one of the new battlefields. Whether people want to admit it or not, sports is a new battlefield. China understands that sports, especially basketball, as soft power, influence, culture, access wrapped in one product. Okay, so American brands busy protecting a hierarchy. China pulled a different move, empower the people who actually create the culture. They're gonna look up, and it's gonna be a lot of people up under them empowered, right? This is when you flip when you flip the pyramid, right? You empower the base of the pyramid. Now then you flip the pyramid on its head. Then what are you looking at, right? So at the center of that play, ANTA, now, like you said, the third largest sportswear brand in the world, they didn't end up there. They built this moment with manufacturing muscle, global partnerships, and now athletes with control, cultural reach, and executive control. Meanwhile, Nike leaned on control and tradition, but never true empowerment. Nike mess around and gonna be looking around like IBM, feed, five, fold, fun. You're gonna be the big one that failed, right? Because you so rigid in how you operate, right? That you're not going to be flexible enough to be able to catch up with China in the moment. So they need to really be thinking. And I think, like, okay, the move with Asia was nice, letting Asia have some control there, but they're going to really have to release some of the control that they had. They need more of those Jordan type brands, more of those type deals that are really working. Like LeBron got a deal, but y'all be honest, how many pair of LeBron y'all bought? LeBron put out all kind of shoes, all kind of colorways. Do you know anybody that got a pair of LeBrons?
I don't.
I mean, I'm not picking on LeBron. I'm being honest. I'm talking about the power of the Jordan brand and how it's been able to sustain. But also talking about, like, you know, even though people say, you know, Michael is this, Michael is that, this brand that he built, this Jordan brand, this has stood the test of time. That's a real question. Somebody tell me. Put in the chat from 0 to whatever. How many pairs of LeBrons have you owned? Just LeBron. LeBron been playing basketball 30 years, right? 30 years? How many pairs of LeBron?
Damn near.
You know what I mean? And I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying, like, this game is really hard to get into and stay. Like, if LeBron wasn't still playing, his shoes wouldn't be still getting released like that, y'all. Okay, tell me. Okay, and then if you can't tell me that, tell me the team that you know that's outfitted by LeBron. Just 2 pairs? Okay. I 0 for me. Zero for me.
Yeah, 0 for me too. I never bought a pair of LeBron.
But they don't appeal. They don't appeal to my style either. But I had one maybe 10 years ago. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. But you know, so if LeBron wasn't still around, but okay, Kobe. Look at Kobe. Kobe's shoe has had staying power. Vanessa's, you know, brought that thing back to Nike, and you know what I'm saying, got that thing cooking again. So it's hard. It's hit or miss. You know, some people say, some people LeBron and some people go. In middle of high school, I definitely had 3 pairs of the Soldiers and LeBron 8 to 2011. Okay. But you haven't had a pair of LeBrons in 14 years. On the flip side of that, do you all wear Jordans? I wear Jordans, but I'm a Jordan and a Nike Air Max, Nike Air Force. That's kind of like my lane right there.
Jordan, Air Force
Air
One.
Max, and then, you know, Air Forces. That's Auntie lane. I got a pair of gray Adidas. I want to wear them, but every time I put them on, man, it's just not enough air. Like, just something is missing. Yeah, the air bubble. I come out of them every time. Every time. I got a shirt that I want to wear them in. Everything like there's something about the air bubble. But what exactly do you think China's long-term strategy is here with ANTA, Lil, and why are they using basketball and specifically Black culture as the doorway into this U.S. market?
Well, the long-term strategy is simple. I think they're going to enter the U.S. market through the cultural doorway that has the most global influence. And that's the culture of basketball. Say, no Black athletes shape trends, drive the sales, and hold the cultural credibility that moves markets. And so by using ANTA and partnering with someone like Kyrie, China is bypassing the traditional corporate gatekeepers, and they tapping directly into the cultural engine that powers the whole industry. And so their goal is to build brand trust, grow that market share, and position ANTA as a serious competitor by aligning with the culture that actually sets the tone worldwide. And they doing this across all kind of markets. Look what they did in the chip market. You know, Nvidia was, you know, the hottest thing going for a minute, and you know they just China just something else. You know, they all about innovation, and they don't seem to be scared to deal with no culture. You know, they ain't trying to get in your business. They ain't coming over here trying to change your religion. They ain't trying to, you know, get you to go against the government and stuff like that. They trying to show you how they can put money in your pocket, and that seems to be what they about globally.
On the flip side, America, how you think they trying to get all the information about you from TikTok, right? They tell you we got to own TikTok because they trying to get all your information. Meanwhile, probably every big bank in America has been hit with been hacked and had your information go places. We ain't did nothing about that, but they gonna save your information from TikTok. See, it's just, you know, you gotta pay attention, folks. They gonna save our information from the TikToks, but the hackers can get it anytime they want to. Ain't nothing going on there. We ain't fixed none of that. Gotta make it make sense sometime, y'all. And Jeremy, are you saying that Kyrie's shoe is more popular than Michael Jordan's? I'm not clear. Let me know. Or you know, or more popular than Kobe. You lost me here because I don't see Jordan in the conversation. So the most popular shoe in Nikes outside of Kobe when it came to the male players. So are we not? That just don't include Jordan. Let me know. If Kyrie can make his shoes stylish and affordable, I'm down. LeBron and Jordan's get expensive in the bigger adult sizes, and aftermarket too crazy for me. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't seen a pair of LeBrons that I want. I'm a shoe person, so I probably would spend more on my shoes than my t-shirt. You know, I put on a $5 t-shirt, $10 jeans, $100 tennis shoes. It's just who I am. I'm honest. I'm honest with clothes. Whole outfit costs $12. Shoes, $150. I mean, that's my life, y'all.
Yeah.
Most important thing I got on is probably my fitted hat and my tennis shoes. What's up, Tracy Harper? But that's my style, right? This the real tea I want you to spill though, Lil. How does China empowering Kyrie with equity and in creative control become a direct challenge to America's sports structure? Because it moves. This move signals something about where global power is shifting, I think.
Well, we all
know. Hit the like, y'all. Hit the like and the share. They both right there. Run them up for us.
Economic global power, you know, is shifting. China is just gonna be the center of you know, where that money gonna flow. So I think China giving Kyrie equity and creative control, it really directly challenged these American corporations, because they simply refuse to do that for Black athletes. You know, they don't want to offer real ownership. They damn sure don't want you to have autonomy and no type of power. They act like, you know, they just gonna die if you have any kind of control of yourself. And that comes from slavery, you know, and the need to control and harness all of your gifts, your labor, and your talent. So to me, the move signals that global influence is shifting towards players. And you think about it, nations that's willing to treat Black talent as partners instead of labor, you got a big thing going on here. So it shows that China kind of understands the economics and cultural value Black athletes hold. And they willing to build with them in ways U.S. companies wouldn't even dare talk about over lunch. You know, and it's a warning shot that America won't evolve. Other nations going to step in and they're going to rewrite that power structure. I mean, you know, this is what we have always wanted. I want to make money with you. I don't want you to continue to exploit and just make money off me. And to me, the people, you know, this power structure in America, they just can't seem to get with that. You know, that just doesn't register with them. They don't want Blacks in control of even they damn self. You know, and it's a weird thing, but that's how they've been running their game. And now that they got a real competitor, because China is the first real global economic competitor that the United States has ever had. You know, and anytime you got to go over there and ask them to buy some of your debt, you know, you got a huge problem. You know, so they gon', you know, China looking over here. Let me see what this group doing. Let me see. Oh, okay. You know, they gonna pick where they think money could be made. and market share can be chipped away. And over here, that's us.
Great point. Great point. To the chat, do y'all think HBCUs gaining global partnerships like ANTA gives them leverage they've never had, right? Or does it introduce new risks when global powers get involved with Black institutions? How do y'all balance that? What do y'all think about that? Let me know in the chat what y'all think about that. I'm gonna post that as well. But let's continue the conversation, because I mean this brings together the geopolitics plus the HBCU investment angle, and I want to know what y'all think about that. We're gonna get right to the heart of the issue. When we talk HBCUs, we talking about the soul of Black education and Black athletic tradition. So for decades, we've had major American brands. We know they treated these schools like they invisible. They pour millions into big PWIs facilities, tech labs, premium uniforms, dry fit, dry tech. Leave HBCUs with the scraps, or even worse than that, nothing. And that's not a talent gap. That's profit bias and cultural disrespect. That's why Kyrie and ANTA stepping into HBCUs, it hit different. This is why I was so excited when Lil started talking to me about this thing. Because it's not about handing out new jerseys. It's about putting Black institutions inside global basketball economy. Now they're inside the global basketball economy. And now you can play game. Now we doing something. This is about bringing visibility. We get technology, resources, access that U.S. brands don't offer. So this isn't like supporting the schools. This ain't like I made a donation, sent some one-time money down there, came by and did a concert. It's not that. This is building infrastructure that now can flip recruiting. This gives NIL opportunities. This builds international exposure for Black athletes who've been overlooked for generations. So, Leo, talk to us about culture. How does ANTA invested in HBCUs reshape that cultural narrative around Black institutions that has been ignored?
You know what? You could feel it's a change coming to HBCU. You look at all the pro football players, NFL former players that are taking over head coaching jobs in the HBCU system. And you got China got loan money. So it ain't, when they invested in HBCUs, that's going to flip the narrative. And that's showing the whole world that Black institutions are not just culturally rich, but economically valuable. And so for decades, corporate America treated HBCUs like an afterthought. But ANTA involvement, that's going to reframe them as places worthy of global investment, innovation, and partnership, because we are one of the most creative groups in the world. And so it elevates the cultural status of HBCUs, signaling that these schools are power centers for talent, creativity, and influence. And that's something you was just mentioning about, kids that at HBCUs that's in design, in engineering, things like that. So we have been begging this government for investment for eons, and it's just something they don't want to seem to do. So to me, it's going to reshape how HBCUs are perceived, not as secondary institutions like they are in our society, but as hubs that deserve the same attention and respect that these big corporations have long reserved for just predominantly white schools. This is if this thing can really catch fire, it's going to give us something that we haven't had through traditional gatekeeping, and that's access, and that's going to be huge.
Absolutely. So let me see. I got another question. Y'all know I always got questions, and y'all answer them. We'll check the comments too. Y'all hit the like and the share. They both right there. Run it up. So let's put the spotlight on the real pressure point, which is going to be the NIL, the name, image, likeness, because that blew the doors off the old college sports system, and then it stripped the power from gatekeepers in a way, because it decided who got paid and because they was deciding who got paid and who didn't. So if Kyrie and ANTA step into the NIL market, they can walk straight on the HBCU campuses now and cut deals directly with athletes. No middleman, no athletic director politics, no corporate hierarchy protecting, these same old schools. So what makes that dangerous for Nike and the rest is ANTA doesn't have to protect the PWI pipeline. They don't owe the old power structure anything, right? They can build and connect how they want to. They can offer HBCU athletes what U.S. companies haven't, signature deals, team-wide NIL partnerships, revenue sharing that puts real money and ownership in students' hands. Opportunities for teams to go and open in China, play tournaments in China. build fan bases in China. Right now, I'm building global fan bases. This is a bold move from ANTA because this could flip the entire college sports economy and force American brands to compete for Black athletes instead of assuming their loyalty, because they just assume. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Hillary Rodham thought we were just gonna vote for her because she had been Bill White. They just assumed.
Came to the church.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They've been by the church and thought we were just voting. But if ANTA steps into the NIL market through Kyrie, how does that shift the balance of power between American brands and China and college sports? And what would this mean strategically on a global scale?
Look, if ANTA enter that NIL space through Kyrie, it's going to disrupt the monopoly American brands like Nike and Adidas have over college sports. So strategically, it positions China as a real competitor in the cultural and economic arena that the U.S. has just dominated for decades. So by influencing these young athletes early, China gains soft power, brand loyalty, and cultural influence inside one of America's most profitable sports pipeline. We are one of America's most profitable pipeline. That 250 billion, we all up in there. That's our money all up in there. And so globally,
you better believe it.
It signals that China is no longer trying to break into the U.S. market like from the outside. They embedding themselves directly into the development of American talent, and this is a major strategic play. And even though it's quiet now, I suspect when it gets out, because he started with 14 schools, but 14 could turn into 28, and the next thing you know, it could be all 100 HBCUs. Then you're gonna see all the benevolence, come out of these white corporations. They're gonna be dying to compete for the talent, that they basically kind of have thrown away. Now, is China going to transport some of that talent globally for their leagues? Absolutely. That's absolutely going to happen. Because China is one of the most modern places on earth. Like over here in the Western media, they'll try to act like, it ain't happening over there. Shoot, they'll put New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Vegas, and a few other places to total shame with the kind of engineer they have going on in that country. And that's something people not aware of, but it's a beautiful, it could turn out to be a beautiful thing. And with that kind of money coming in the HBCUs and into these athletes, now you can start doing community builds. Now you maybe could invest in building a hospital, building a school, building a business where you can employ other people, in your culture. I mean, this is gonna be interesting. I can't wait to just see how it plays out over time.
Absolutely. So help the people understand this part. If HBCU athletes start getting NIL deals like equity opportunities, visibility from global brand, how does that change their role in global power competition between US and China?
Ooh, let me see.
Are they becoming cultural assets in a bigger geopolitical game?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about that. I think the HBCU going to be cultural assets in a much bigger geopolitical game. Because you got to understand now, China got 1.4 not billion people over there. That's a lot of people, and they have such a manufacturing base over there. They have people over there with money. So when global brands give you NIL deals, equity and visibility, those athletes aren't just representing a school. They shaping a global culture and influencing an international market. So that gives them value far beyond sports. So in China, the U.S.-China competition, whoever invests in and partners with these athletes going to gain the cultural leverage, market influence, and credibility with that younger generation. So if China is backing HBCU talent while American corporations ignoring them, those athletes become key players in shifting global influence, whether they realize it or not. So this is going to be, a big thing. And I think what happened to, Kyrie with the Nike thing and the Brooklyn situation, I think that really opened his eyes and fueled in him that he gonna put as many people in the game as he can, you know, and he went this way. They put him on, and he gonna bring it forward, put other people on.
I mean, sports are a mirror of global economics, right? So I mean, and that's just the plain truth of it. What Kyrie and ANTA are doing is not just a partnership. This is a preview of the future. This is, like I said, one of the biggest battlegrounds in global economic rivalry between U.S. and China. So, because of the cultural impact and global reach of hoops, it's sitting dead center in this fight. Sneakers, the uniforms, NIL deals. These aren't just not just products. This is cultural currency. This is political influence and economic power. And we don't look at it like that. We got to start looking at that. Cultural currency, political influence, economic power. We're culture shifters. Oh, we're culture shifters. As a people, as a culture. Whoever controls the cultural pipeline controls the global market.
Facts.
The world is finally saying out loud, Black culture is the engine behind basketball's global influence. Black culture is the engine behind basketball's global influence. You don't believe me? Go look. From style to music to movement to language, the world copies what Black athletes and Black communities create routinely for decades. American corporations harvested that culture and cashed out while giving little ownership back to the people who built it. China sees the gap. China sees the gap. ANTA see the opening. And Kyrie is like this bridge now. So he's the one that's positioned to flip a system that's always taken from the communities without returning power. How we respond to that and take advantage of that is going to be important. But they're not even talking about it for us to know, right? Let's go there. If global power wants what Black culture creates, how does Kyrie's move force both the U.S. and China to compete now for this influence through Black athletes? And what does that competition really look like?
You know what? Kyrie move forces the U.S. and China to compete because it exposes the Black athlete and Black culture. It proves that they are the gateway to global influence. So the U.S. has long taken the culture power for granted, and China now stepping in with real investment, ownership opportunities, and creative freedom. That creates a competition where both of these nations gonna have to fight for the loyalty, partnership, and cultural alignment of Black athletes. So that competition, it kind of looks like a race to offer better deals, more control, and more respect, which I believe that's the most important thing to the Black athlete is being respected and having autonomy. You know, because and whichever nation aligns with the Black culture gonna gain that culture capital that drives trends, markets, and global soft power. So this is I once again I believe that the corporations in the United States, they're not gonna react. They're gonna be slow to the draw. They're gonna look up. It's gonna be a whole power shift because they so cocky and so sure they self. You know that we won't make a move. You know, out of their gatekeeping. They gonna find out it's a new day around town. New sheriff too.
So okay, Leo, I'm sorry. I had to finish a call, y'all. I'm sorry. But before we move on and close this up, because I know we got hoops coming up, because I'm gonna watch this Penn State game so I can get my scouting in for this week. But break this down, Leo. If it's the Black creativity and Black athletic culture that's the global prize, how now do Black athletes leverage this moment to negotiate that ownership, that equity, and long-term economic power instead of letting corporations, and that's American or Chinese, extract that value?
You know, Black athletes, they can leverage this moment by recognizing that they are the prize, not the company. So when two global powers are competing for your influence, you negotiate from strength. And so that means demanding equity, ownership, stake, and creative control, revenue sharing, big buzzword, and long-term partnership deals instead of flat endorsement checks. So it means choosing relationships where their culture isn't just marketed, but respected and compensated at the highest level. So with both the U.S. and China wanting access to Black creativity Athletes can use the competition to raise their value, secure generational power instead of let either side extract what they create. So this, you at the bargaining table now. Somebody just gave you a seat. Pull up.
Exactly. Let's close this conversation the way we open it. You know what I'm saying? Straight truth, no chasing. What Kyrie and Anta are building is, it's not a sneaker story and it's not a sponsorship story. This ain't no, after school special. This is a power story. This is a blueprint that people need to be paying attention to. This is a new model for how Black athletes step into global influence with ownership, control, and leverage instead of waiting on American corporations to toss them some crumbs. This is opening up opportunities. This is Project B. This is AU. This is WNBA. This is WBL. This is unrivaled. This is everybody have a seat and let me pick where I want to go. What's best for me? This is we creating opportunities here. We are watching an athlete flip the script in real time. And we're watching a global brand pour into Black institutions this country built on Black brilliance, but refused to fully value. We're watching our culture, sit at the center of a global tug of war. For the first time, creators actually have negotiating power. This isn't just about Kyrie alone, y'all. Don't let that be lost here. This isn't just about Kyrie alone. This is really about what's going to come next. The athletes who follow, the HBCUs that benefit, the system finally being forced to stare their own inequities in the mirror. The question now is simple. Will Black institutions and Black athletes step into this new lane, or let the old power structure talk them into stand exactly where they've always been positioned? Like, you really want to go over there? You really want to go to China? You can just come up here to Oregon. You can just pull up over here to, are they going to go for that? Go ahead, Lil.
You know what? Here's what we need you all to understand. Movements don't build themselves. They need people and they need voices. They need support. So if you care about Black athletes owning their influence, and if you care about HBCUs getting the investment they've earned for a century, and if you care about shifting the sports economy so that the creators finally get the equity and not just the applause, then support the platforms doing the work to expose the politics, uplift the storytelling, and protect the culture. Support athlete-owned brands, support HBCU partnerships, and support media spaces like Cess Talk Sports and BeWise PoliSports Tea Time, where we break down the narratives, not repeat them. Because once Black athletes own their creativity, their image, and their economic power, the whole global system gonna change.
Exactly, Lil. Exactly. And I mean, we almost at 7:00 too. So I'm getting ready to get out. We getting ready to get out of here so we can get to hoops. But I'll be back, like I said, to celebrate Asia. But before we get out of here, I need y'all to join something real, something intentional, something rooted in protection and empowerment. Y'all get over there to Respect Their Game Advocacy Group. It's a collective dedicated to defending, uplifting, and investing in Black women and Black athletes across the entire sports landscape. This is not just a hashtag. This is a movement. Y'all subscribe to the channel, like, share this episode, hype this episode, drop a comment, join the conversation. RespectHerGame.online. Visit, tag your support, hashtag RespectHerGame, hashtag RespectHerGame. Because real change happens when the audience becomes part of the movement. Sports are never just about the games we play. They're about the stories we tell and the systems we expose. It's Cess, your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies, alongside Political Lil, and trust, we are far from done pouring this tea. Until next time, y'all pay attention. Stay loud, stay in the game. Y'all stay tuned. Talk soon. Yeah, great job, Kyrie. Hey, we out, y'all.
We out.